Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the challenge in Red Zone. And for this one, we're going to basically be looking at essentially how you can beat the Red Zone stage against Golden Frieza with time limit category units. Now, gonna be honest, time limit is a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to like I want to say like units and leads and stuff. Look, it's not that I have necessarily an issue with time limit like functionally as a category, but I do think obviously if you're talking straight time limit leads, it's not the best. We have literally like the Gogeta LR, and I think that's literally it like when it comes to time limit categories. So it's a very small actual lead, but the category itself has quite a few sub leads or sub categories, I want to say, like functional abilities and like runs that'll make it work. So like a great example of this is you can run accelerated battle or Super Saiyan 3, because Super Saiyan 3s, there's quite a few of them. You can run fusions, so that's kind of what we're doing here. We're running fused fighters, which is obviously our own variation for a lot of reasons. So that's really cool. Then on top of that as well, we're running like, for example, you could run Patara, I guess. You could run Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Is also pretty viable. There's like a lot that you can run. So I don't want to kind of sit here and say like, okay, it's all bad, or there's this or there's that, or it's very limited. But I do think like functionally, as a team, you're probably looking for fused fighters being your best kind of bet. Now the Frieza stage itself has 4 phases, and traditionally speaking we need to be concerned mainly by the second to last one, mainly. So you have the first phase, which is against multiple enemies. Really not that big a deal. Most of the enemies, to be honest with you, are just not that big a concern. They don't really phase me. They're not like a huge focal point for me. Of course, would I like them to be easier? Of course, but they're really not that hard. Then you get to the Int Frieza phase, also not that big a step up. A step up, but nothing too crazy. Then you get to the AGL Frieza stage. That's where things start to get a little bit wonky, because that's where things really kind of start to get out of hand. I think you start to really struggle, and I think there you can start to really feel like the impact of how hard the boss is hitting. So of course, though, that being said, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And in the strength phase afterwards, Frieza does technically hit harder on his super, but he is also not as tough, if that makes sense. So I do think like overall probably quite happy with like how everything is going here. So look, all in all, Frieza can't be sealed from the second phase onwards. Frieza can't be stunned, all those sort of things. So it's definitely a tough experience for a lot of players, but I think you'll find yourself like a very good kind of medium ground when it comes to this event. So now let's talk about team build. So obviously we're going fused fighters. I think if you go fused fighters, I think ultimately it's not a bad call. I think fused fighters is very strong. It fits a lot of the categories, and I think running double GT duo is not bad. I think running double GT duo is more than acceptable, so I think that's more than fine. Of course, it's just going to depend a lot on yourself and what your box is. But we got double GT duos. That's going to work out. We got physical LR Gogeta as well. I'm not going to say he's actually the best. He's really good. Obviously, he helps out a ton. Yeah, I wouldn't say you need him. Like, I wouldn't say he's hard carrying. He does a great job, of course, but I wouldn't say he's hard carrying, but he does do a great job. I think the strength Gogeta is really awesome. He helps out a lot. I think Kefla does a lot of heavy lifting in terms of damage. Kefla is, the more and more I use this unit, the more I'm not quite understanding how Kefla like came into being. She is nuts. Like, she is actually nuts. I've done a lot of challenges so far this 9th anniversary. I know it's not all the hardest content yet, but Kefla is, like, I don't want to say outperforming the LRs, but she is doing a really good job. Like, she's really doing a good job. So I think, like, for me, looking at all of that and considering all of that, I do think, like, Kefla, yeah, probably one of the core units here, just functionally speaking, for me. Like, I do think she's probably, like, one of my core units. If I had to say, who do you want to bring, who do you need to bring, I would say Kefla. Now, we have the transformations, also very helpful, of course, always super helpful transformations. These transformations, specifically I'm talking more about the SS3 Gotenks and the Gogetas. Now, you don't want to transform the Gogetas too early on. It's not that it's like terrible if they do transform too early on. But yeah, the concern obviously is, how can I say, like, the concern when it comes to them transforming early on is mainly the fact that, you're going to end up in a situation now where they may not have enough defense to last later on. Like, they gain damage reduction, they gain a lot of really good stuff, but they're not going to have enough defense to kind of last early on, or late on I should say, and really tackle things from there. Int Gotenks, preferably paired up with Kefla. 100% Kefla is awesome, and pairing her up with Int Gotenks is a great decision, so you should definitely do that. Then, aside from that, honestly, not much. I think, personally speaking, you can kind of mix and match this as much as you want. I think the Tech Gotenks is amazing. I think he helps you out a ton, and I think you should definitely consider getting him if you can. I think it's something that's going to help you out amazingly, so definitely consider doing that. And yeah, honestly, from there, that's kind of it. The team's got a great lineup, so if you just kind of handle things well enough, you should be okay. I don't think you'll have too many outstanding issues. The final phase, yes, is strength, which should scare you in theory, but in reality, it's a DPS race against Frieza firing off a one-hit kill. So for that, we're not too concerned, because we believe we can kill him really well. So we're not concerned, basically. But yeah, honestly speaking, a really fun team build. I think this one works nicely. I think it's should be relatively accessible for most players. I think, barring the Gogeta, the movie Gogeta, I think the rest of these have been around long enough that most players should have them. Yeah, so I think you got options there. Of course, you don't have to use physical movie Gogeta. There are some other alternatives. We have the God Boys, so the Super Saiyan God Duo units. We have the Super Saiyan Blue units from the Worldwide Celebration. So we got stuff, like, we got units that I think can make it all work. So, like I say, I don't think physical Gogeta or anyone is super necessary, but I do think, like, just keep that in mind, and try to build around that and everything. So yeah, that's honestly it. Realistically speaking, really nice, fun team build. I had a lot of fun using it. It was just a good team. Nothing too special, nothing too bad, and just a lot of fun to run. So yeah, I think that's all the challenges for now. Probably more will be added on later on, I guess. So yeah,